Welcome to a new episode of Rich and Raw. Get ready for powerful insights and real strategies to elevate your wealth and impact fast. It's time to get Esther-sized. Let's go.
Kind of what time of the year it is.
Yeah, right.
I hear the second batches are a little more hardy anyway.
Okay, all right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I think
sometimes they push it too much in the beginning and it's too cold,
right.
you know?
Well, this one might be.
Look at that. They're even fun to watch when they're little.
He might be 2 weeks old either today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's that? Do you know?
Might be rhubarb.
Rhubarb, yeah. Well, I had a lot of fun going down the rabbit hole of chicken breeds the other day. It's so cute.
Well, Jagger wants 6 all black ones, but I'm like, there's also these really, really cute striped ones there. Can we get a couple striped ones?
Oh, definitely. You want some Barrocks and all the names I sent you if they have them.
Okay.
Some of those are more expensive. The Americanos usually are generically okay. But some of those ones that she was the Easter eggers, I never heard that name before.
And you found out it's like a mix between that and Americana or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What chapter are we on, Megan?
We are on.
He's going to keep you company, that little guy?
I feel like he's good, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. I hopped to the end, how to get what you want.
Oh.
And it blew my mind. One page. Plus, it's a separate, it says chapter 1, chapter 2. Remember he said, Scott said in the beginning, there's some chapters at the end that are like part of the revised. But when I was reading it, I was like, this is exactly what he's already said.
Just all summarized into one single. Oh, there it is. Just got to update it.
Is this your version? I have your version and you have mine now?
So I have a version that includes the original plus the revised version.
Oh, okay. All right, but the chapters are the same?
Yeah, well, I'm going to the old version, which I think is what you have, the original.
Yeah. What we on chapter 14?
14, the impression of increase.
Cool.
Speaking of chicks.
The impression of increase. Wow, that even feels wild. So welcome everybody. I think we can fit one chapter in today.
All right.
Megan, I cannot believe how spot on the energies of what that lady was talking about, Elizabeth April, is to what's going on for us, for me, for you, for everybody I'm talking to. And the word impression made me think of it too, because it's kind of like you can't really put words to it. And if you talk to people that really aren't aware of like global changes in earth consciousness awareness, or don't want to talk about it or whatever, it doesn't make any sense. It sounds like gobbledygook. Like when I read my journal, what I write, I'm like, wow, I better not publish this. I think I'm crazy, whatever. But
it's whatever they want to do with it.
It's too consistent, right? What's going on? It's like,
yeah. Well, if you can't see it, if you don't want to see it, you can't see it.
No,
you have to want.
I don't even know if I want to see it, and I want to see it. You know what I mean?
I don't want to see it. I want nothing to do with it, right?
Yeah. Well, to me, I felt relieved that you experienced the same thing, and just those of you who are listening, we just hopped on or whatever. We have been going through all these global changes, and I don't know about you, but I feel like I can't make a decision. I make a decision. It doesn't feel like it's the right one. Should have had coffee instead of tea. And then I think about what would have been like to have tea. Like I never would have thought about all that stuff before. Like I think that these are our experiences of becoming more aware. And in our awareness, it triggers our bodies to have fear about that there really isn't anything that's sustainable, predictable. We're just floating along. And that's it, right? So maybe that's all it is getting.
Well, we're also the day after the full moon. Full moon? Yeah, yesterday was the full moon, right? So it's like, how much does that factor into just that frequency?
Literally did not sleep for 4 days. I mean, I take a power nap here and there because I couldn't sleep at night, but I was waking up every hour on the hour. I wasn't even really sleeping. You know, I'll count from 100 backwards. I did that like 10 times. Didn't even faze me. Usually I could do it like once and I'm out, you know. I was like, wow, how many times am I gonna have to do this before it works? Never worked. Wake up. Wow. Still awake.
Because I woke up wide awake at 5 o'clock in the morning the last couple mornings, which is very unlike me, and then
Yes.
never went back to sleep.
Yeah. Very like me, but yeah, not like you at all.
Yeah.
So let's look at the impression of increase, because I think that's what's going on.
Oof.
This might be a repeat of what actually has already happened or is happening.
Help us recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you change your vocation or not, your actions for the present must be those pertaining to the business in which you are now engaged. Whether you change your vocation or not, your actions for the present must be those pertaining to the business in which you are now engaged. You can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you are already established in by doing your daily work in a certain way.
Wow, that feels good to know. Say that again, Megan.
You can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you are already established in by doing your daily work in a certain way.
Okay.
So it's like if you just do what you do,
Mm-hmm.
you will get to what you want as long as you hold that in your
Right.
consciousness.
Right.
But you got to do today well in order to get the tomorrow that you want.
Fixate instead of just bagging it all together is what I'm getting.
Yeah. Or
Right.
checking out.
Yeah. Just get really good at who you are within what your current vocation is, and that will lead you to. Oh, that's so encouraging, right? Because if you look at the insurance model, I've been really good at building teams, or I enjoyed working with people. I like helping people, right? And that's a vocation that pays good. Instead of just ditching it, let's just utilize it to develop more of who I already am, create the vocational finances that it brings to bring me to where I want to go.
Which is consistent with all the work we did for years with purpose and mission, right? Because if
Yeah.
you're clear about what your purpose and your mission is, it can be expressed regardless of what you're doing, as long as
Right.
you're aligned with it, right?
Right.
It's not the cup so much as the spirit in the cup.
Right. The how will expose itself. If you focus on the how, the way will expose itself. What's the saying? Can't remember.
And insofar as your business consists in dealing with other men, whether personally or by letter, the key thought of all your efforts must be to convey to their minds the impression of increase.
Ooh, maybe we won't get through the whole chapter. Okay, read that again. Jesus.
And insofar as your business consists in dealing with other men, whether personally or by letter, the key thought of all your efforts must be to convey to their minds the impression of increase. This is wild because I just came out of this morning, the very first ecology class that I pulled off working with New York State parks.
Okay. Is this going with homeschool stuff somehow?
This is going with the homeschool stuff, right? This is trying, we have a park just down the road from us. Nobody knows that there's a gorgeous nature center there. Apparently they have summer programs all the time that I've never heard of, that most people I know have never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to the woman who's come down from Niagara, and she's like, yeah, we just don't have enough people to run these programs. So I like, you can't mess with the structure that's already there when other people are the control of it. But if I just do what I'm doing and I can just focus on, like, there are a lot of people that want to come to these programs.
Yeah.
You need more people. You need to like take the reins and see it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we just don't have enough people. We're cutting our staff. Woe is us. It just doesn't work. And if I just show up and are like, well, actually,
let's make it work. How about that? Is that an option?
Increase is what all men and all women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them seeking fuller expression.
That's so encouraging to know, because it seems like our culture is so suppressive of wanting more in a constructive way. It's okay to want more food and want more addictions and want to have your addictions fulfilled. But when it comes to actually aspiring to have your business be bigger and greater, or, whatever your endeavor is.
Well, it's because we're in a world of comfort, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want my comfort to be disrupted.
Even if it's for a longer term, better thing.
Right. But if you're already impressing people, like, there's enough for everybody and it can always grow.
Right.
Like sourdough, right? Yeah, just
right,
keep
there
adding
it
to
is.
it.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why it's a problem. Yeah. Because they assume that it's taken away from them. Interesting.
Which makes sense if you operate from a mentality that it's all scarce resources and you don't know how to create it yourself.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is this is so right to the heart of all my frustrations.
Right. Also, the entitlement into believing that there shouldn't be problems anywhere and no one should have to live with lack and all this other crap that you hear. So, I mean, not that you shouldn't have compassion for people, but the mentality of believing that everybody's entitled to not have to have discomfort thwarts everything he's saying. Because it's already there. It's like, should you cram it down somebody's throat if they don't want it, or if they don't have the awareness to even engage with what it takes to experience the abundance? No, you shouldn't.
Should you tax them at the point of a gun because you think that they should be supporting this thing that you want in the world?
Right. Yeah, and if I want to have cancer, have a disease, and create what I need for my body to wake up and to be freer, should someone be obligated to cure my cancer if I don't want it?
Well,
Boy,
it's even just
that'll piss somebody off that I said that, I'm sure.
well, and how many times are we ostracized from people and we hear, parents or relatives and people we haven't talked to for decades, and then we find out that they have a terminal illness, and then all of these things, right? It all comes up to the surface, and you have an opportunity you didn't have before. Well, maybe we
Right.
create that in
Right.
order to facilitate that.
Right. Well, I know we create everything, but how we do it, we're clueless, clearly. Otherwise, we wouldn't need to read this book.
The desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure. Increase in something equals more life. Well, that's great because it's not about being greedy and never being content and never being
Right.
satisfied
Right.
because you want more life.
Yes. And I agree with that. There's nothing
Every,
wrong.
every living thing is under this necessity for continuous advancement. Where increases of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. Every living thing is under this necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase of life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once.
I don't get that.
Well, this is if you're
Disillusion.
alive and you're vibrant, you have a necessity to continually grow and develop yourself. You can't stagnate.
Right.
Because the moment that you stop trying to increase in your life, that's death. Like
Okay.
it's right, it's nature. You either have to grow or you're dying. Which one is it? If you're
Right.
not growing, you are by default dying.
So how does that relate to disillusion?
Because it falls apart, disillusion, it dissolves, it goes away.
Interesting.
Dissolution. Man instinctively knows this, and hence he is forever seeking more. This law of perpetual increase is set forth by Jesus in the parable of the talents. Only those who gain more retain any. From him who hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. From him who hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. So Jesus gives the three people, like the three sons get a bunch of seeds, and one of them scatters them on the rock. One of them plants them, and one of them stores them away for the future. And the only one that gets anything for it is the one that goes out and plants it and reaps it and multiplies it.
Nice.
The normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or a reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for more abundant life. It is aspiration. This is what I love about you.
Well, and that's what I get criticized about too. You're taking a risk. Esther, you're going to be 65 this year. Esther, you should do this. Esther, you should be more safe. Why don't you just be satisfied with, oh man, should have heard what I got. I was like, all excited about South Carolina and the land and having a farm and oh, wasn't it too much for you? Or isn't this and that and this? You know what I mean? And I know it all comes from the place of caring and also maybe assuming that they're responsible for me or something. I don't know. But it is a risk to sell my lake house and put all that money into something else at my age. I'm not like an expert at real estate, right? but the desire to create more, or to have that for the homeschoolers, or to create, tiny houses for resident artists to come and just hang out. And I don't know. I mean, I was just like, I want all that. And after all those chats, I'm like, wow, am I crazy that I want to do all those things? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe. And when I think like that, oh my God, I go right into depression. It's just not good. So thank you for saying that. It's like, no, 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 you're not doing it. You are, even if you screw it up, you're doing it. You're doing something.
Because you're living and you're growing.
Yeah.
And you don't want to stagnate.
Because I'm older.
You're not ready to die yet.
No, no, no. And I don't even think retirement, I think what you're describing there is what everybody thinks you should do in retirement, just kind of coast. I've never seen more addicted humans ever than those that are just retired, right? Yeah. You see people that say they're retired, but they're actually doing all these other ventures, but they don't call it retirement then. Yeah. Retirement. Whose idea was that?
Join a golf club and die of a heart attack. God bless you.
Just go die somewhere. No, don't do that.
And because it is the deepest instinct of their natures, all men and women are attracted to him who can give them more of the means of life. In following the certain way as described in the foregoing pages, you are getting continuous increase, and you are giving it all with whom you are giving to it all with whom you deal. In following the certain way as described in the foregoing pages, you are getting continuous increase, and you are giving it to all with whom you deal.
Right. So in other words, one begets the other. If I have more, I can give more, is what I hear from that.
And there's no lack in it.
There's no lack. So me getting more is just helping more people either A, see how to get more, B, be okay with how it is to get more. I have more to share. I have more to give.
This is good. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. This whole ecology thing, I had probably 50 people respond in 24 hours. Everybody wanted in on it. And I had to refund a bunch of people their money because they had wanted to cap it at a certain amount.
Is this for the park thing?
This is for the park thing through New York State parks. So I charged $10 a family because their fee is $45.
Okay.
I don't know if this should go public, but
yeah,
we had all these people come in, and I ended up with a excess of $110. So at $10 a family, even giving back a bunch of people their money because we didn't have room, I still came out with $110 extra. I can't give it to the New York State Parks employee who's doing it because he works for the state. He doesn't want me to keep it for my time and energy having created it and facilitated and rolled it all. So I was like, all right, well, we'll start a Southtowns Ecology Club. Anybody who wants to put the difference into that, let me know. If you don't, I'll give it back to you.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, now I got to do an ecology club, right?
Yeah. Well, if the mission's in alignment with why they want to go in the first place, or you could use the money to sponsor people that can't afford to go. That's an option too.
Right. But just being creative, right? Like I'm the one that wanted this. I wanted to grow. I wanted to exist because I wanted to exist, period. And if I go into fear of like, well, I can't do this for free, right?
Why can't you give them the money back though?
Because it's a New York State program and their fee is $45. And then what does their accounting department do with that?
Oh, God. Don't get me started, Megan.
Be sure of this and convey assurance of the fact to every man, woman, and child with whom you come in contact. So be sure that you are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. So I had to think going into this, I'm like, I can't show up with a bad attitude, right? I got to show up from a place of why I wanted to do it in the first place.
Right. And know that it's all there, and the abundance is something that you're just collecting to share with other people.
And I just got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
There's no way to measure that right now except the happy people.
Right.
And
but
people
it could be a template for like every state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the homeschool actually getting involved in the commerce of a system that's not working out.
Yes. And that's what's so cool. So I come home and I've been talking with HSLDA, which is the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, because New York State homeschool regs have not changed in 38 years.
I don't know if that's good or bad, right? Is that good or bad?
Well, that's the thing, right? So if you live in a rural area, it doesn't matter. You just send in your reports and they say, okay, great. It's really very low key. But if you're in an urban area where they don't want to lose you, they'll create all kinds of hassles for you.
Okay.
And they'll make you think you have to ask them for permission and all this other stuff. So a lot of people have been homeschooling for decades in New York State. They don't want to mess with it because it works just fine for them. And I'm like, well, that's all well and good, but there's more and more people homeschooling and the pressure's building and there's more and more of it. It's going to come.
Yeah. Like in Alaska, I remember there was more homeschoolers than there was in the elementary school. And actually, if all those homeschoolers, when you were homeschooled, when my kids were little, you guys, there was like over 330 or 340, and there was like 298 in the elementary school.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a big deal. So if they would have all been in the school, there wouldn't have been enough room, not enough teachers, right? And all the enrichment programs became so good. The elementary school kids knew the homeschool kids and they wanted to be a part of it. So then they started working together to enrich the kids that were in the school and do.
And that's what rises the tide for all the boats.
Yes. There you go. I love how you think. You're so good. Yeah. Okay, good. Do it.
Beware. Be sure of this and convey assurance of the fact to every man, woman, and child with whom you come in contact, no matter how small the transaction, even if it be only the selling of a stick of candy to a little child. Put into it the thought of increase and make sure that the customer is impressed with the thought.
Nice.
So that's good because I said I don't want to just give them their money back. They already paid for it. It's only $10 a family. There's families of 4 kids showing up. Why would I give them their money back?
Right.
But to say like, hey, how about we start a ecology club so that this kind of thing can keep going? That adds everybody the idea that this is a thing that can grow, right?
Yeah.
It's delightful to find out how you're doing something.
Yay.
Convey the impression of advancement with everything you do, so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing man and that you advance all who deal with you. I'm not here to take anybody's job. I don't want anybody's job.
No.
They clearly don't have the capacity to do what it is that I just did, or they would have done it.
And I don't want my light to get brighter, right? And have it blind somebody. I mean, that's kind of what, no. You're out actually giving them permission for theirs to get brighter too.
You're normalizing that for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Convey the impression of advancement with everything you do, so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing man and that you advance all who deal with you, even to the people whom you meet in a social way without any thought of business, and to whom you do not try to sell anything, give the thought of increase. That's interesting. So you don't try to sell it to everybody, but you foster a mindset of abundance.
Yeah.
You can convey this impression by holding the unshakable faith that you are in the way of increase, and by letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. Do everything that you do in the firm conviction that you are an advancing personality and that you are giving advancement to everybody. Feel that you are getting rich, and in doing so, you are making others rich and conferring benefits on all. Do not boast or brag of your success or talk about it unnecessarily. Truth faith is never boastful.
Oh, interesting.
Wherever you find a boastful person, you find one who is secretly doubtful and afraid. Simply feel the faith and let it work out in every transaction. Let every act and tone and look express the quiet assurance that you are getting rich, that you are already rich. Words will not be necessary to communicate this feeling to others. They will feel the sense of increase when in your presence and will be attracted to you again.
Awesome.
You must so impress others that they will feel that in associating with you, they will get increase for themselves. See that you give them a use value greater than the cash value you are taking from them. Take an honest pride in doing this and let everybody know it, and you will have no lack of customers. People will go where they are given increase, and the Supreme, which desires increase in all and which knows all, will move toward you men and women who have never heard of you. Your business will increase rapidly, and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. You will be able from day to day to make larger combinations, secure greater advantages, and to go on into more congenial vocation if you desire to do so. But doing all this, you must never lose sight of your vision of what you want or your faith and purpose to get what you want. Let me here give you another word of caution in regard to motives. Beware of the insidious temptation to seek for power over other men. Nothing is so pleasant to the unformed or partially developed mind as the exercise of power or dominion over others.
Right.
The desire to rule for selfish gratification has been the curse of the world. For countless ages, kings and lords have drenched the earth with blood in their battles to extend their dominions. This, not to seek more life for all, but to get more power for themselves.
Right.
Changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it?
Yeah. Read that one sentence again.
For countless ages, kings and lords have drenched the earth with blood in their battles to extend their dominions. This, not to seek more life for all, but to get more power for themselves.
Yes. Right.
Today, the main motive in the business and industrial world is the same. Men marshal their armies of dollars and lay waste to the lives and hearts of millions in the same mad scramble for power over others. Commercial kings, like political kings, are inspired by the lust for power. Jesus saw in this desire for mastery the moving impulse of that evil world he sought to overthrow. Read the 23rd chapter of Matthew and see how he pictures the lust of the Pharisees to be called master, to sit in the high places, to domineer over others, and to lay burdens on the backs of the less fortunate. And note how he compares this lust for dominion with the brotherly seeking for the common good to which he calls his disciples.
And Dominice, is that the guy's name that started to figure that out in the Chosen movie? Dominus. And he was like trying to humble himself with his wife, and his wife was putting him up on a pedestal. There's a couple scenes in there where you can tell his consciousness was, he felt embarrassed that he was elevated to such, heights. Yeah. And he didn't like that because first of all, he believed Jesus was a Messiah, and he realized, right, when he saw him, he felt the difference. And so he was trying to not be that way. And everybody's like, no, 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 you're awesome. You're the best. And he's like, no, no, no. So I think that's an example of what you're talking about. It's like so much a part of our culture to have that hierarchy for a reason, or it's perceived to be for a reason that's not good for all. It's just selfish. And if I try on the different feelings, like the power for myself or the feeling of expanse, it's more creative to know that you're empowering and helping tons of other people. That to me feels better, right? But if you experience lack, you're going to want power and strength, and you'll want to harness it yourself and control it, which isn't good.
And why do you want power unless you don't already have your own self-respect intact? Yeah. Right? It's like you're looking to augment your own belief in yourself through means that are not reflective of reality.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That feels bad. That feels like a fake.
And then you have to control and rule and punish. And
right. I'm glad he addressed that, though, because I think that's one of the biggest confusions we have.
Watch out for the temptation to seek for authority, to become a master, to be considered as one who is above the common herd, to impress others by lavish display, and so on. The mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind, and the competitive mind is not the creative one. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellow men. And indeed, when you fall into the world's struggle for the high places, you begin to be conquered by fate and environment, and your getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. Beware of the competitive mind. No better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the late Samuel Golden Rule Jones of Toledo. What I want for myself, I want for everybody.
I love that. You know anything about that golden rule?
Never heard of that golden rule.
Jones of Toledo.
Have you heard of it?
No.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, let's look it up real quick and then we'll be done.
Okay.
That was a bomb of a last page. I want to read Matthew's too.
The chapter 22?
23rd chapter
23rd.
of Matthew. Yeah.
Yep.
He pictures of the lust of the Pharisees. That's what made me think of The Chosen. I could watch that show every day. And the main reason is because it helps me try on my emotional experience of how it feels to be a disciple, number one, and to see when people engage with you, when you think you're just being normal, awesome, happy about God and Jesus and abundance and yay, you're at a party.
Vitality.
right? And you're like, God, this is so awesome, right? And then somebody, like it's just human. It's just so normal. And to see that happen over and over again to the disciples and how they respond to it to try to like protect themselves or shun, their enthusiasm or appropriately word like we don't know where Jesus is. You know what I mean? Like they're just trying to like be okay with how amazing it is to hang out with this dude, right? You see it, right? So we have experienced that. Like to hang out with somebody super awesome. Oh my God. And then, the one scene where the girl's stabbed by that Roman dude. That's so sad. But what her father does because of the pain. Ouch. Anyways, all the same. Were you gonna look it up? Did you look it up, Megan?
Matthew 23.
No, the golden rule.
Nope. I thought you saw you looking down. So I
was trying. I just thought you're fast.
I got a chick in one hand, so I'm just a little slower. Sam, usually I would be there.
Let me see. What is he sleeping?
No, he just he jumps up every time I put my hand around him, but he's like sitting down.
Everybody, Megan read this book with a chicken in her hand.
Samuel Jones was a Welsh-born U.S. businessman, oil pump inventor, and politician known for his progressive policies. His factory in Toledo, Ohio, provided a host of employee benefits. Oh,
cool! And toodly-doo. Nice.
Immigrated to the United States and grew up in New York. At age 18, after very little schooling, he went to work in the oil fields of Titusville, Pennsylvania. He rose from field hand to oil producer. His invention of an improved oil pumping mechanism in 1891 earned him a fortune. He opened a factory in Toledo, Ohio to manufacture his invention and introduced there a host of employee benefits, including the 8-hour workday, profit sharing, paid vacations, a minimum wage, Christmas bonuses, and recreational facilities. His guide in dealing with employees, Jones attested, was the golden rule, and admirers and critics alike, many businessmen despised him as a supposed socialist, applied that term as a sobriquet. Nominated by the Republican Party and elected in 1897 as mayor of Toledo, he set about governing by the same ideal. He established free kindergartens and playgrounds and free lodging for the homeless. He granted city employee benefits comparable to those of his factory workers enjoyed. He sought to root out corruption from city government, and he advocated public ownership of utilities. In 1899, the Republicans repudiated Jones and nominated a more conventional candidate for the office of mayor. Yet so popular was Jones with the electorate that he captured more than 70% of the vote by running as an independent. Re-elected in 1901 and again in 1903, he died in office in 1904. In his will, Jones left a 10,000 Golden Rule trust to the workers in his factory.
Wow, what a cool guy.
That's super cool.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. I feel that way. I feel that way about health. Like if I feel so good, I want everybody else to feel good too.
Yep.
That's an empath.
Yep.
Thanks, Megan. You're awesome. Let me see the cheeky one more time. Yeah, he needs 6 more siblings. Okay.
All right. Okay, bye.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Rich and Raw. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated.